is that? This one? Might have been that one. Okay. Good morning. I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Note that we have a few board members missing. Council President Hudson mentioned she wasn't able to make it. Chuck Maryhue and Larry Williams are not with us, but everybody else is. So we have a quorum, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And we will start with our minutes from our February 17th, 2022 minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So move. Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. What is that? Excuse me. Just want to make sure we don't have a particularly sensitive microphone somewhere. Okay. All right, so next up we have our report from the Secretary. Again, Joe is not able to be with us, but he did tell me that he has no report. So we're going to keep moving on. We'll go next to our program manager, Chris. Good morning.
Good morning. How's everyone?
Doing all right.
Good.
How are you, Chris?
Doing all right.
Good.
Yeah. A few things cooking, but
Happy spring.
thank you. Yeah. Do we dare say that?
Well, you can say it because it's seasonally correct. But
Season. Okay.
look out for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Fair enough. Yep. So I still see a few plows on out there. So
Yeah.
you never know, right? Until we get past Mother's Day, right? Then
Right.
Then you're safe.
Right.
So good morning. So just want to run through a few things today, but I think overall just to kind of give a global look in terms of we now, I'm happy to report out that we now have substantial completion certificates issued on all the buildings with the exception of Elms and Nottingham, Phase 2 of Nottingham. And both of those are in progress, meaning the substantial completion certificates have been drafted and are being developed for that. So that's a pretty significant milestone because it enables us to, it triggers a lot of components to getting us closer to closeout. So just wanted to kind of report out on that.
Good.
The other kind of global thing is that we have several final payments this month. Happy to report out that we have final payments for grant for the general contractor and for the architect. So that puts us in a good position with grant to now be able to advance to the final cost report on it. Also final payments for Fowler for the Western New York floor. They were a prime contractor there for refinishing of the floors and replacements. So we're going to final pay those. And then at Bellevue Bellevue and Ed Smith for our CM of record for there because we're able to close that out. And then at Bellevue for the architect. So that will close out Bellevue completely. So just wanted to bring everybody up to speed on that we're making some progress on that. And then we anticipate final payments in April for Corcoran, for Huntington for the architect, and for Blodgett for the architect. So we're making good progress with respect to that, and largely have beneficial use of almost all areas in the buildings, with some exceptions. So obviously Henniger is continuing and ongoing. In Elms, we've not moved back into yet, but with exception of that, we largely have beneficial use of the spaces. So that said, just to speak a little bit to the Fowler interior package is our first item on the left-hand side under the construction update there. Anticipate that after April break, we'll be able to reoccupy the pool area and the locker room and team locker room over there. That was a phase, the interior phase that we did. So anticipate that after April break, we'll be in good shape there. The concession storage building. We did have a few punch list items there, and we needed to get a final life safety inspection on the concession storage building over at Fowler, which we anticipate, again, moving in that direction. We had the fire alarm system is in place and functional there, but we needed to make a swap out of some of the head end equipment there. So once we do that, we'll need to get another certificate and then finalize some punch list items there. So that'll be in good shape. Over at Corcoran, again, we're working on, we're about 90% on the punch list work at Corcoran to getting that all the punch list items completed and closed out. About the only thing over there that isn't turned over is the pool. The work in the pool area is completed. We have to get the chemicals, the district has to get the chemicals up and running and get the pool balanced, and then we got to bring Department of Health in for a final inspection of the pool area. So making good progress on that one. Over at Henniger, we anticipate several turnover spaces there after April break, the main office. We're gonna have reoccupancy possibly even before April break, but that's really close. We're just trying to get the punch list items completed in the main office, then they can move back in. The library, fingers crossed. I think last time we spoke a little bit about long lead items, and lights were one of them. So those lights have been ordered, and like I said, fingers crossed we get those in. The anticipation is that after April break, we could get back into the library. And as well, the lower level cafeteria, that we'd occupy that after break as well. So that's a little bit later than we anticipated in terms of the turnover of that space, but it's good because now it'll allow us to advance to the upper level and start the renovations there.
Chris, what is the problem with the main office?
No problem with the main office. I think that there was a
The
push.
new main office
Right.
was supposed to be done by December, then February.
Yeah, I know
Desperate for space.
currently, what's that, Tom?
It's HVAC.
Was,
HVAC is not done.
I thought we were there though now.
I'm not sure. Last I knew it wasn't done.
Okay. When I spoke to them, I was told that they were continuing to make efforts in there to get all the punch lists done. So we hopefully avoided that whole thing of when you move in, who did what to where. So I know they were pushing on that, but I'm not up to speed on the HVAC. I don't know, Sean, if you can speak to it. They did balance it. Okay. So, Nottingham, the substantial completion certificate, as I mentioned, has already been issued for that. The locker rooms are completed. That was the phase 2. We had a phase 1 and a phase 2 over at Nottingham, so they occupied that a couple weeks ago. And we're working on punch list corrective, worked about 85% there on that, and then collecting all the closeout documentation required to get there. Clary, about 98% done on the punch list, just trying to get that dialed out and then get the closeout documentation in place and put us in a position to get that one closed. Elms, as I said, we're largely done there. We've got some outside work that once the weather permits, we get some seating and stuff that has to be done over there. And I know that the district is elected to take on a little bit more work over there, so I know that's an ongoing deal. We're supposed to have our life safety inspection this Wednesday, just to make sure that get our certificate of occupancy and can reoccupy, and then the reoccupancy will be probably not till fall.
Next fall.
In the fall. So then Danforth, largely the same status, punch list, substantial completion certificates issued, about 98% on the punch list. I'm happy to report that we did have change order work over there to put acoustical sound panels in on the second floor in the classrooms. It was pretty hot, meaning sound-wise hot in that space. So we had purchased acoustical panels. We've been carrying that over there on my constraints and critical issues. So we did receive those, and they'll be going in. I don't know if we'll get them all in over April break, but the plan is to get as many of those installed over there. And then if we need to go to nights after that to do that, we will. So under critical constraints and issues, the material stuff still something that we're keeping our eyes closely on. Just a lot of lead times out there. I think the fortunate part is that, our efforts now are going to be largely contained at Heineken, and most of that material has already been procured in terms of the mechanical units and stuff. So, but we are still feeling like fire alarm, lights, floor finishes, those type of items are still carrying a pretty significant lead time. Ed Smith, we've noted here a couple times that we're working through with council. I think we're making good progress on that. Hope to have an update here, in terms of a settlement there here shortly on that one. And then Elms, we still have a pending discussions there regarding a claim that was filed for general condition. So that's still a work in progress, working through that. The Corcoran, we anticipate the terrazzo stair treads within over April break to get those in, provided they come in. And the lower level cafeteria, as I mentioned before, at Heineken, we're clear on that now, so we got past that one. And the sound panels at Danforth was another concern. So got a few of those off of the list. The closeout just continues, the change management continues as we're moving forward. So that's about where we are. Questions, comments?
Any questions for Chris?
When are the stairs going to be fully done at Heineken for the new cafeteria?
That in that intermediate stair. Sean, I don't, what is our end of April? Okay. Because I know the pictures here in the photo of where we are on that, so it's, the stairs are in place. So I can confirm that though, Jaime, if you need.
Okay, yeah, because we can open up that cafeteria with the small one.
Might be your pen. Is it your pen?
I think it's just a
Oh,
sensitive, something
sensitive.
sensitive.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. And Chris, just, I want to just go on the record as saying that I hope that the Winchester House 38-year construction timeframe is not being seen as a model for any of your projects.
No,
Just interesting.
I thought about that though too when
Okay.
when that got put on there. I said so. Thank you, but no, I thought it was an interesting factoid. So we've been through so many of those now. It's getting tougher to find stuff. You know, that's
Yeah.
interesting. So, but no, it was not meant to be indicative of anything else. So
Very good. Thank you.
thank you.
One brick at a time,
Right.
not at a time.
Right.
What's that?
College Stadium.
Okay. Let's move on to our financial statement report. Morning, Donna.
Good morning. Okay, this month is the financial summary. It's just the one pager. And for the benefit of Steve, I usually present these monthly. The financial summary just gives us a brief overview of what's happening. But at the end of the quarter is when I give the full report, and which is what you were, I reported to you last month. So let's see, we're going to start right at the top there. Our highlights are the interest earnings. We had vendor payments approved and paid in January, and we did end the month with $22.7 million in cash and $57.5 million in fund balance. So our cash inflows for the this month were only $74 for interest earnings. The year-to-date column on the cash inflow section reflects the activity from July to January, totaling $365,245. I'm sorry, $361,400. Wait a minute. The total is $365,245. I was looking at the subsidy. Our total projected column reflects 34.3 total, 33.6 for our scheduled state aid intercept that is occurring this month. $722,810 is scheduled to be received in our federal subsidy, and $5,177 is what we're projecting for interest earnings. Of course, that's fluctuates a lot, so we really don't know what's coming in for that. And then our cash outflows, the current month activity, combined together, what we paid out this month, it was the month of January, was $2.7 million. The year-to-date column does reflect the activity from last July to January, and that total is 38.3. And our projected for the fiscal year 22 is $78,488,542. That's going to take us up to June 30th. So on the bottom, we just put a nice little bar graph there, which provides a visual for the year-to-date cash inflows. We had $365,000 in the blue, and then, excuse me, our projected cash inflows in the orange is $34.02 million, and our outflows for the year-to-date cash is $38.2, and then our projected cash outflows is $40.2. So that's just a brief summary. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay.
Thank you, Donna. All right, moving right along. So we have one resolution. Again, we don't have our secretary to introduce it. So I will introduce resolution number 5 of 2022 to authorize monthly payments to all JSCB contractors, including the PM and ICO, at a cost not to exceed $1,683,134.25 in accordance with the attached appendix. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Pretty short agenda here. Any other business to come before the board? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.